DJ Mike and Friends. It's the after party.
Y'all know what it is.
Every Thursday night, 8 p.m. After party, 9 p.m. Cut It Up Music, YouTube. Special guest this week, DJ Malachi, Oakland Zone. We are blessed. I don't even know if we're able to tap all the knowledge that this brother can bring to the table. Right. You know, we're going to try. And first of all, how do you feel about your mix?
Man, come on. I loved it. I was telling Mace, so I have this little crate in my Serato that I call Twitch 110. I've been on Twitch. You can follow me on Twitch. DJ Malachi 510. Somebody took my fucking name and they're not doing shit with it, but fuck it.
Oh, shit.
That's why I had to add on the 510. But otherwise, it's just DJ Malachi, Malachi. But I've had this crate called Twitch 110. Basically, it's 110 BPMs and stuff around that. So that's what it was, kind of.
110, that's a great speed too. It's a speed to get people dancing, you know, but it's still groovy too.
No, exactly. I was telling another DJ friend of mine, or I was watching his stream, and basically he said the same thing, and I was like, oh shit, I have a crate called Twitch 110, and I took a screenshot of it. I was like, look, dude. So yeah, I was like, I'm onto something here, and I haven't done it in a couple weeks. So I was like,
nice. Now for me, it's taken me years to accept and changing as a DJ, growing and changing and advancing, because I come from that real hip hop. Everything is 80 something to 90 something BPMs. So when I first start playing music, I think, I'm just randomly Hall & Oates, Shaka Khan, Evelyn Champagne King, whatever, 108, 110, 112 into the mid, into the teens. Like, it was game changing for me. And as I did it more and more, my style changed and started to go more to that style. A faster style, faster pace.
I get it. I mean, I grew up, obviously in Oakland, born and raised, and shit, I'm probably going to die there, which I have no problem with. Doing Oakland house parties in the mid-'80s, you had to play everything. We're talking A to Z. I always use the analogy when I talk about it. We would play Too Short, and we would play Miami Sound Machine at the same party. And everybody was like with it.
Right.
And with that said, you had to play James Brown at some point. Like that's, that was essential to an Oakland house party. Like, I don't care who, you got to play some JB. That's just essential.
It's so crazy because you could not get away with that today.
Right? No, exactly.
So crazy.
And I have the most fun when I could kind of just be goofy and play a bunch of different things. Whether it be Latin, whether it be salsa, whether it be house music, whatever.
Be free.
No, exactly. Hip-hop, obviously, because that's my foundation. That's what I kind of started with that, and kind of, at the same time, obviously, I loved hip-hop, and seeing the DJ for the first time, like, well, let me take it back beyond that. I played drums. I was in the drum corps in elementary and in junior high and in high school. So I could read rhythms, not necessarily musical notes, but that obviously made me, or I feel made me a better DJ. Yeah. I could read, I know musical structure and what have you, but I forget where I was going with my point here.
You could read.
Yeah. No, well, I could read rhythms and whatnot. I was so, obsessed by drums, and then seeing a DJ for the first time, I was like, whoa, what is that guy doing?
Right.
And, and I became obsessed with it. I'm like, oh, I want to do that. We have a turntable at the house. So,
right.
And of course, I ended up breaking it because I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
Same thing. I broke my aunt's. Then I had to explain what I've been doing in there every day.
No, and I was like, wait. And I went to the pawn shop and got like a used turntable. I was like, wait, we have one at the house, and then we have my used one. And then I went to Radio Shack and got a realistic mixer. And I was in there. You couldn't tell me anything. And it's funny. I posted this on Instagram, a while ago. I have one of the first records I brought, and I started scratching with it. But I didn't realize that you needed a And then when I flipped the record over, oh man, this record is fucking tore up. I didn't have a scratch pad.
Yeah, you did it without the little rubber mat.
No. Whatever. I was like, back in those days, the crappy turntable.
Right.
It had like grooves in it, but seriously,
Yeah.
I still have that record. Like, I ended up jacking it up because
Fuck it.
man.
It's a memento.
No, exactly.
We were talking earlier. I went through some shit years ago in my life, and I lost a lot of that classic shit from back, when I was first coming up in the 90s. But I had so many. I have a few still. There's still a few things. Those mementos are important in the game. You devote so much to this. They really mean something.
And in fact, on a couple of those records, because I was very territorial about them, you'd hook up with other DJs. You'd do like little turntable sessions and whatnot. I would etch my name into my records, and I still have a few of those records.
That's some old school shit.
Where I'd etch my name.
That's OG shit right there. That's that original type shit.
I'll have to send you a picture. Like, hey,
nice,
check this
very
out.
nice. So let's talk. I first heard about you. I don't know if we really met back then, but I was a member of the Bay Area Hip Hop Coalition. I used to do radio at 89.9 FM KCRH. We brought hip hop to Hayward. And with my boy D-Real, big shouts out to D-Real.
Yeah, D-Real. Oh my
and
God.
Kia.
Yes.
And Kia.
Yeah.
And I remember I was in the Hip Hop Coalition for a few years, and then we were talking about earlier. Benny got the office downtown Oakland, and then he would say, "Hey, you need to call Malachi for your records." And I was by that time, I was playing in the streets a little too much, and I wasn't. I'll call him another day, and I'll call him another day, and I think I just phased away. But you want to break down a little bit about the Bay Area Hip Hop Coalition, what that was about?
Yeah,
because that was definitely a movement in our time, and it was an honor to be part of it.
No, exactly. Formed by Kevy Kev, Davey D, Benny B, all the
Gary KK.
KK.
Yeah,
from K-Poo. All the. Well, I mean, college radio, community radio was so strong in the Bay Area
back then.
And they all kind of loped up and was like, hey, let's form this coalition. Like, they were all friends and they all shared music and what have you. Like, let's form, a coalition. And
I think the spark was Public Enemy. I want to say, okay, there was Apocalypse 91. What was the album after that? Music in Our Message, I think. Is that what it was? They had that record, and it was kind of like they didn't sample, but they redid the Chili Peppers. Give It Away.
Okay.
Give It Away. So, KML and 94.9 got serviced with that first. They didn't even touch none of us. And that was kind of like the gunshot, like, what the hell? We've been playing Public Enemy.
Yeah.
We've been supporting Public Enemy. And then that was a whole, that's where I remember it starting for me and when I got involved.
Yeah.
Then they came out here, Chuck, everybody came out here. We had a little celebrity basketball game, and the rest seems to be history. It went on for a long time after that.
No, exactly. I mean, it was all about because, like I said, definitely.
It was dope. It was dope. Sway was even playing. Sway was there. Everybody, yeah.
Wow.
No, exactly. I mean, it was such a stronghold, like a Sunday night. Come on, that was all about like K-Poo. And then we listened to KZSU.
Yeah,
the drum, son.
I grew up on the drum.
Yeah, we all did.
Up on the drum.
We all did.
A lot of people are like, Kev, I sold Kev. I didn't sell him. I gave him some Shure 44.7s a couple years ago. and like 2 weeks later, they discontinued them. And he's like, what do you want for these? I said, bro, you're Kevin Kev, bro. I'm not like that with everybody, but I'm like, man, you gave me so much. I wouldn't even be the fucking DJ I am without you.
And from what, they're still in that little bunker. Like, they haven't changed the station. It's still in that little bunker.
Trip. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I went on, so I remember, I grew up since junior high.
M Smooth is still there, right? I don't
know. That's
I think M Smooth. I want to say M Smooth is still doing his show. I think he started a little bit after Kev, but yeah.
It was like 98 maybe, and we went down to be on the drum with Ill Adapted, and
I still have that vinyl.
Do you? Yeah, me too. That's our shit. It's our shit. And I'm like, fucking, you would have thought I was on KML. I was so excited to go to the drum. I want to be on the drum. Oh my God. I've heard Pete Rock, Tribe Called Quest, Brand Nubian. Who else? Everybody's been on the drum.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
so,
exactly.
It was special.
If you were a touring rap act, or if you were a rap act, you know, yeah, you would do like the wake up show but you would fall, you know, Sunday radio. You'd hit up KPOO, you'd hit up KZSU.
Yes.
That was like you had to,
Yeah.
you know, like all the bigger acts. You know, that was a staple. Or you'd go up in Sacramento. Was it? Oh, it's not there anymore.
You know
the Bomb.
You know who Ebro was up in Sacramento.
He was, yeah.
Look at him now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he moved back east and then blew up. Still doing his thing. Shout out
Still
to
doing
Ebro.
Big shouts out. So yeah, man, you've been around a long time now.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So back to the coalition. Yeah. I'd worked for another record pool previous to that. We can even go back even further to that. I used to be a touring DJ for an artist called Clever Jeff, who was on Quest Records.
Ah, yes, I know. Clever.
And Jeff was label mates with Saphir. So we were all super cool. The dude who signed him to Quest ended up leaving and got a better position somewhere else. So right as Jeff's album's coming out, dude is gone. So basically the guy who kind of vouched for him. So yeah. I mean, it's and I don't blame him. Like, you know, if you get a,
I mean, yeah, he got an opportunity to go do something bigger and better.
there you
like,
go,
hey.
exactly. But we're at a label who basically was like, oh, we didn't sign you guys. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, you know, we got to go on some tours and do some things. And,
Dope.
you know, I became really tight with Reg, Saphir, to the point where like all those rhymes on that battle,
Yeah.
I was the sounding board for 90% of those rhymes.
No shit.
Oh, shit.
We were
For
on
real?
tour. So right before, he had a release party.
Are you
at-
talking about the Wake Up Show battle?
The
Okay.
battle. The battle.
The battle.
I heard those
should know.
rhymes
I
before
watched
any
that over and over.
one.
VHS over and over and over.
I heard those rhymes before anyone. I told him like, yeah, that's tight. No, don't do that. No. So right before, a lot of people don't know this. Like right before we go on tour, there was a release party at Jeffrey's, and he kind of goes in at this release party. Everybody's there. He's like, man,
Where's
fuck
this
that dude.
at, in Oakland, or-
Jeffrey's,
Center
yeah,
Circle.
yeah, which is
Don't
still
even,
there.
It don't even crack no more. But
No, it's still there. Yeah,
It's still there. I've DJ'd there a
yeah.
few times in the last
we all
couple
have.
years. I'm just the last couple years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Private
No, it's still.
events
Yeah, it's still going on. Shouts out to Jeffrey. He goes in on Casual like, fuck that dude. Duh.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
catting off. Duh. Basically, he had booked some studio session, and you know, Casual kind of catted off on him, and he never showed up. And he just went in on Cash, and I was like, whoa! And like everybody there, we're all like, oh shit! Like, you know, but Cash
yeah.
wasn't there, but like everybody's like, oh
Heard
shit!
it, Yeah.
And
That's
it's
how
so
we were with True. And like, oh fuck. Yeah, keep going.
So we go on tour the next day. We go back east and do like this whole black college tour. Like me, Jeff, Saphir, Suge and Dap. Suge ended up being Truth Hurts. But this is
Oh,
before
wow.
she ended up being Truth Hurts.
Wow.
The Youngsters
The youngsters.
from Philly and Ahmad
Oh wow.
from LA.
Yeah.
So we end up doing this month-long tour on the East Coast, every black college. Just, you know, so much fun. We had a ball.
That's a decent little lineup.
It was. I mean, you know, doing shows here and there,
Yeah.
doing radio. Just, you know, I mean, we had a ball. I mean, it was so much fun. But yeah, back to Saphir. So yeah, so at the end of that whole thing, Jeff ended up getting dropped from Quest. And so I come back, I'm like, man, what am I going to do now? And I run into my dude Marty, who has a record pool called Soul Food. So I end up kind of working for Marty, doing his record pool thing, kind of helping him out and whatnot. Kind of more on the independent tip, but, you know, super cool. And I kind of knew about record pools because I was part of the pros, you know, initially
Right.
when it
Big
first
shouts out
started.
to Rico Casanova.
Yeah. Rico's in Vegas doing his
Pros
thing
is
still.
legendary.
Exactly. Oh man, I ended up stopped working for Marty, and then right when I ended up start working for Marty, Benny gives me a call. Hip Hop Coalition. He has the record pool, and he's all. This is when ABB just started kicking in.
Yeah.
He's so busy with Dilated. He's like in Defari. He's like, man, I I can't run the record pool anymore.
Yeah.
Can you take over? And I was like, sure, why not? I'm not doing anything. I know about record pools, and I could figure what I don't know about it. So I ended up running the coalition pool for a number of years, and of course, ended up working for ABB as well. So little brother dilated
That's when I had
peoples.
become a little jaded by
little
that
kids,
time.
Little kids like me would go on the internet when we first got it.
Yeah.
and look
I
up
kicked
the
myself in the
Hip-Hop
ass for some of
Coalition.
that because I was
That's where
involved
all the
early
new
on with a
jams-
lot
That's
of.
how we would find all
Benny
the
took
events.
me to Benny took me to Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, you told me that
It
last
was a
year.
week.
Oh snap!
It was a week.
Jack the Rapper? What?
No, it was a week before the Olympics, '96 Olympics.
Yeah.
And it was for this movie Fled with Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay.
You ever see like on like for movies, people are coming out? It was amazing. Oh my God! Like we were them folks. We got to see the early screen, and we had to come out and do that kind of stuff. And then they had this like all night super party with all the artists that are off the soundtrack perform. T-Boz, everybody.
Oh wow.
Open bar, Stretch Armstrong DJing.
Oh damn.
I'm a little squirrel still trying to get a nut at that time of my life, you know. And so I remember telling Benny, I don't really drink, you know. He's like, you don't? Nah. I started drinking. It was free drinks. I'm getting blitzed. I'm all over the place.
Hey, well, you know,
But,
when
got
in Rome,
to
do as
go-
the Romans.
I was telling him we got to go to the what's the second Outkast album? ATLians. We got to go to the ATLians album release party.
Oh snap.
Yeah, that was the day before, and then the next day they take. We're staying at like the Swiss Carlton. They take us out to the middle of the forest out there in Atlanta, wherever, you know.
Whoa.
And this is whatever record label it was, whatever record
LaFace.
label the sound was. It
LaFace.
on LaFace?
Oh, I don't know if the
soundtrack.
but they were on LaFace. Though.
Yeah, it was a lot of LaFace artists, so it might have been.
So probably was.
And they've got all these DJs from all over the country. We're out there playing paintball. Here's Sway and Tech. Here's Marley Marr, Red Alert. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I'm sitting there like, wow.
Wow.
I'm a youngster. I'm not
man.
old and gray like
You're
I am
a
now.
kid in a candy store.
I was. You know, it was something else. And I'm like, I don't even feel like playing paintball. They gave us these little Fled fatigues and everything. I mean, it was all what these record labels did back then was unbelievable. There
was money. I mean,
there
come
was
on.
money. They were making money. And Benny
different
took me
game
with
back
him. He
then,
took me
yeah.
with him on that whole experience. We went record shopping the last day we were there, right? I'm down to like my last 100, 130 bucks.
Yeah, if you're
like
with
that.
Benny, we'll go ahead and finish.
So Benny, we're going around this record store, right? It's all used shit. And he'd go, you got this?
hey,
No, I don't. You know what this is? No, you're
I
buying
have the same story.
So he pretty much empties me down to probably like about $15. I'm at the airport, hungry, can't eat. You know what I mean? But I got some records.
But hey, you got something to show for it.
Right, right. Everything he had me grab is classic. Classic. Like just gems. You know what I mean?
Though. Yeah, stuff you need. Like
Yeah, right.
Oh, like years later, you'd be like, oh damn, I have that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So that's what it was. I remember one of them was what's the name of that chick? She sings the De La Soul Buddy sample. Heartbeat.
Tanya Gardner.
Tanya Gardner. One was that. In that point in my life, I knew nothing about the original.
Yeah.
So when I get home and I put this 12 in, I'm like, oh snap! Like Benny just knew. I didn't know, you know. But there was others too. There was some Donald Byrd and some stuff like that. And amazing. Benny
And I'm sure you
he
got him
knew
kind
his
of
music.
Oh, I'm sure you got him kind of cheap too.
Yeah, cheap. Oh, this
Yeah,
ain't this.
yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is 1996.
Like dollar records or
yeah,
something.
right.
Bottom
Cheap.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, a great time.
No, exactly. So I met Benny. Benny started going to Cal Berkeley. He got his degree.
Right.
Cal Berkeley. At the time, a bunch of my friends went to Cal. I actually was going to Laney at the time. So we would go study up there. And I eventually met Benny. And I was like, hey, I'm a DJ. Hey, I'm a DJ. And, you know, one night he needed some speakers. And he ended up using my speakers, like, you know. So I was like, yeah, cool. Yeah, you could use my speakers. It's all good, whatever. And then we became instantly kind of tight from
Nice.
then. And, like, he would take me record shopping. You got this? You need this.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
and he was the one that introduced me to like breaks.
Okay.
And before there was a whole digging into crates thing, that's what we did. And in fact, when I went
What
on
year
that,
is this?
yeah,
What year is that? Like around early
88,
Oh wow.
89.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Way back.
This is
Yeah,
the early days
before-
of that movement.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I wasn't really, you know, I knew a little bit, but like he
Still
was
putting
like,
out records,
correct me if I'm
Jeremy.
wrong. Benny's from the East Coast, right?
Benny's from LA.
Oh, he's from LA.
Yeah, yeah.
Didn't know that.
But yeah, he had that knowledge, and in fact, when we went on that tour with Saphir and Suge and Dap and Ahmad and the youngsters, he gave me a big list. He was like, when you go to record stores, look for these records. He gave me like a 6 or 7 page list of all these records.
That's
And so
dope.
like when we would have days off, like I would try to find a record store in that little town.
right.
And yeah, no, exactly.
You know what's funny? We spoke on my boy D
Right.
Real earlier. I used to do that to D. Because D was a hip hop DJ, but he was like a mainstream K-Mail format hip hop DJ, right? So we'd go to Amoeba or Rasputin's. I'd be like, Dan, you got this, you got this, you got Dan, you need to get this. Dan, you need to start playing this.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think one of them I remember, Sister Nancy. I'm like, Dan, do you have this? No, I don't even know what that, bro. Just buy this, bro. Next, I heard that record every week for weeks. You know?
Played that motherfucker.
Yeah, come on.
Took your advice.
Right, right,
Took your
right.
advice. He played that motherfucker.
Right. So but I think I got that probably from Benny. You know, because that's what Benny would do to me. He was yeah, man.
No, exactly. And you know, to take it back, he developed all these relationships through college radio with all these college radio DJs, community radio DJs around the country. So once he decided to put out a record, that's who he sent all those records to.
Yeah.
The Stretch and Bobitos, everybody. And so he had that kind of network.
Right in the
And
box.
they were like, oh, we know Benny. We're going to play Benny's records. We're going to support one another.
Yeah.
Because it was like, you know, Gavin Convention, all these
Right.
conventions, they would kind of all meet up at the same time. And so he had that instant support system for his label, ABB.
Yeah.
The Far Eye, Dilated Peoples, were the initials Axe.
Guapole, Little Brother.
Yeah, Little Brother.
I
and
got him over there.
Yeah.
I got them records.
No, exactly. I got tons of stories about Little Brother. Those are my guys.
Nice. That last, what was that last? They had a record last year, about a year ago.
Yeah.
I played the shit out of that album. I loved it. I couldn't get enough.
I'm so proud of those.
Getting into a lot of this shit, yeah.
I'm so proud of those guys. Like seriously,
Definitely dope.
I was one of the road managers when they first came out to California. Only one of them had been on a plane.
Oh, wow.
But let me take it back further than that. I remember the first day I heard their demo in the office. We had moved the office. We were on 20th at this time. It's like a open ceiling kind of office. We were just kind of partitions, more or less, kind of tall partitions, walls. I start hearing this music, and I'm like, "What is this?" I'm like, "Oh, this must be coming out on Raucous.
Right.
This is a signed act."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yo, what is this?" And they're like, "It's a demo." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Wait, are you kidding me? This is a demo?" And I'm like, "No." I was like, "We need to be on. Let's call these dudes right now." I stopped I don't care what y'all doing. Hey, we need to talk to these dudes right now. Get them on the phone. He was like, don't worry. It's already in the works. Little did I know it was already in the works. But, and what you heard off that first album, The Listening,
Yeah.
basically was their demo. Like, it was so clean and just ready and finished. And I was finished product, and I was like, I was blown away.
Yeah.
You know, I remember that day, I was like, yo, what is this? Like, yo, we need to call these dudes right now.
One thing, Benny, too, that ABB came at a time where, the way I remember it, early 90s, late 80s, these majors would sign just about anybody. There's a time in the 90s when all these Bay Area artists had a major deal. Because they came through the Bay Area and they signed Mac Mall and they signed Drew Down, they signed the Loonies and they signed Rappin' Forte and they signed, you know what I mean? But by the late 90s, early 2000s, the majors had kind of caught their formula. They'd kind of figured what was working for them. And Raucous, ABB was a label where
Stone's Throw.
Stone's Throw. You could buy, and that's
Fondling with Bobito.
The real shit had moved to these more independent labels. You know.
Yeah, I said by the time 2000.
Definitely
Yeah.
by 2000.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
You know.
Oh yeah, no, it was crazy strong. I mean, and
Right.
like I said, it was all built up off that network of like Bobito would send Benny his records and vice versa, and other labels were springing, you know, and you guys had that. They all had that foundation of college and community radio.
Right.
Like we're gonna support one another. Like
We were a strong network back then.
it's huge.
It's the internet
Huge.
kind of destroyed it, I guess. Changed it, I guess.
It's a good and bad thing. Like
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
you know?
got its
Right,
pluses and
right,
minuses like
right,
any
yeah,
situation, right? But it was definitely a different time, completely different
Oh,
time.
hell
yeah.
Now let me ask you this. I got a couple questions.
Yeah.
The first one I'm gonna say, coming from that era, those eras of hip hop, being involved in it, the business side of it, everything, just to love it, play it. You see hip hop today. How are you? Better, worse, different version? What is it? In your mind?
I think it's
Such a hard question.
No. I think it's the same, honestly. I'm not one of them old guys, and I'm an old guy, that shits on new hip hop.
Right.
There's a lot of older DJs that are like, oh, back in my day, blah, 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 blah. But when we came out with, you know, whatever that, you know, golden era hip hop,
Right.
the generation previous,
Yeah.
that music sucks and blah blah blah. And
Right.
I've never
Can't dance
wanted,
to that. It's too slow.
I've never wanted to be that guy. Like,
I'm that guy too. I'm not like that. Like
no,
I always say, the new shit is cool. I don't like a lot of it, but it's not for me.
Right.
It's for the young kids.
It's
That's
for a
all right.
different
No,
generation.
I
exactly.
don't hate on it. More power to them.
no,
I wish them all the best.
I appreciate some
I
of the
feel like
newer
hip-hop is
MCs.
spread it so far now where there's so many different lanes. And you
So
don't
many
need
different
radio
lanes.
or nothing to make it now. You
You
can see so
don't.
many cats.
You don't.
I mean, I always say Griselda's a good example. Those
They don't
guys
get-
ain't got one song on the radio.
Exactly.
They're living pretty good.
Right.
You know what
Exactly. And it's a kind of
And they-
throwback to that whole kind of
I mean?
independent
So
era.
I said that's what you said, the internet, good and bad. There is some good, some bad, definitely.
Right, definitely. Well, it's like that with any situation, you know.
You got to you have to sift through.
But I'm like
kinda-
that too. I don't hate. Like, it's just, I don't hate.
Our generation kind of and
I mean, if especially if you call yourself if you say you spin music in clubs and bars and shit like that, you're gonna be playing some good shit. I don't care what. You
I'm in
say.
the beat.
Anybody, trust me, I'm the most hardcore hip hop guy you know, and I'm playing great.
I'm in the Beat Junkies
If I'm in the
record
club
pool.
and the girls are dancing, I'm gonna throw it on.
Right, no, definitely.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna throw it on. You
But
know
as
what I mean?
far as what we call per se real hip hop or genuine hip hop, or I'm in the Beat Junkies record pool every Sunday. All of Sundays, what they call indie hip hop and new shit.
yeah.
And there's a lot
there's
of
a
good
lot.
shit.
I would say the resurge is definitely here.
Yeah.
It's here right now. There's a lot of these young cats. And a lot of them I wouldn't say so young, because I would say they're like my age. They're like 36 to 40. You know, they grew up listening to that early 90s shit. You know what I mean? And
I get it because
Yeah,
a
I
lot
mean-
of our generation, they don't have necessarily time to kind of sift through, because going back to the whole internet good and bad thing, there's, you know, it's great and then it's bad to some point because everybody feels like they're a rapper now and they can put out
Right.
music, and then they put it out, you know, and you have to kind of sift through and
There's a
find
lot.
your, you know,
You would
as
think today
opposed-
you wouldn't, but you still have to. It's just a different
Yeah.
version.
no, exactly. And a lot of people don't have time to kind of sift through and look.
That's kind of where I'm
Yes.
at a lot
You know.
of the time.
yes.
And so it's important that we still have those gatekeepers that kind of like, you know, like, okay, here, this is what you need to listen to. This is what, check this out,
Right.
you know. And it's, you know, it's,
And
I
there's
understand it.
One thing I'll say the
I would
last
say
few
as
years
a DJ,
too.
that would be our job.
No,
There's
exactly.
been a-
Like I said, being a gatekeeper. Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
handful of so-called legends over the last 3, 4, 5
That's why I
years
play a lot of like
that have really like kept that old, modernized, and changed. I know in just the last couple of years, I've gotten to Master Ace albums, De La Soul, Tribe Called Quest. Right now, I'm getting into that new Busta Rhymes,
Yeah.
and so it's crazy because there's still those handful of legends from that era that are still doing their thing on a level, on a quality level.
Oh yeah,
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Now I
Definitely.
noticed you play you play mostly I'm gonna say house, dance music,
Kind of like,
soulful,
you know,
very
four on the
soulful,
floor. Yeah. Well, that's what I grew up listening to. Go back to my history again. My parents grew up in West Oakland. My dad was a black music fanatic.
Okay.
We're Mexican. I'm Mexican.
Okay.
And it was, that's all I grew up listening to. It was the soundtrack of my life was blues and jazz and
Nice.
soul music. But then I have my brother who liked rock music, and then my family who would, I'd hear Latin stuff.
Yes.
So I'm getting all these different influences and what have you. But soul music at the end of the day
That's
is
how my grandpa was too. Yeah. My
is-
grandpa was from Oakland, but that's all. My grandpa was Puerto Rican. That's all he listened to was a lot of soul, all that Temptation shit. But
Nice.
also he was a big fan of Sinatra.
yeah.
So like I grew up listening to Frank
No,
Sinatra
we
in the
had
house, too,
we
you
had
know what I mean?
Sinatra records in our little record cube that they had
Hell
upstairs.
yeah.
But Dad, yeah, he grew up, in West
Yeah,
Oakland.
we heard those drums and congas and all the old shit he would play.
Love
from
that
the
shit.
island. Yeah,
See,
he-
for me,
oh,
that
hell
was
yeah.
all foreign, and when I'd hear the rhythms and everything, and I gravitated towards it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. West Oakland had on 7th Street had like a chitlin circuit. So Aretha Franklin would come, Ray Charles would come. They would all these little clubs where they would,
Wow.
and for whatever reason, Dad liked that music. That's what he gravitated to. And like I said, that was the soundtrack of me growing up. That's why I like kind of rhythmic stuff and got into playing drums and what have you. So
Nice.
and that's soul music. I'll play anything that has soul to it.
Wonderful.
It could be a polka song. I don't care.
Well, with
like,
that, let me now with that, let's talk about what you've been doing the last few years with Motown Mondays.
Yeah.
Because is that part of how you got going with that, or how you fit in? Because you're amazing with that. You guys have been putting that show on now for years.
Yeah, we're Oakland. So the party is into 11 years now at this
11
point. Started in San Francisco. Shout out to Don Gordo Cabeza, who started the party. Once they brought an Oakland chapter, I was like, in my head, I was like, I need to support this. This is soul music. And I always viewed Oakland as a chocolate city growing up.
Yeah.
It wasn't like on the scale of Washington, D.C., but, I grew up on the block where, all my friends were black for the most part, But, I mean, I had my Hawaiian friend, and then I had my German friend, but,
Right. Totally
that's-
get it.
Yeah.
I was out in Hayward. Everybody was different.
No,
None of
exactly.
us were the same.
I'm from Stockton.
Wait, well,
I grew up
exactly.
with a lot of Asians actually.
Yeah. But yeah, so once I saw that there was a Oakland chapter, I was like, I need to support that. So I was there opening night, and for that first year, I was there most nights because I was like, I need to support this night. This is soul music. This is
It's always
Oakland.
dope when you go there.
This needs to be supported. And they started off on a great tangent, but it tailed off to the point where they almost stopped it.
Oh wow.
Like it was, people weren't coming, but luckily, thank God for Zach and Rayanne, they held true to the.
Zach used to let some shit play out.
Yeah, no, and he did, and
Yeah.
thankful for him, he did.
Yeah.
So it ended up, coming back on the upswing. My man Crimson, shout out DJ Crimson, who was running it, had to go to grad school after a year. And because I was there all the time and I'd guested a couple times, he was like, Mal, I need you to take over. I mean, he knew, and a lot of it was unspoken. He knew I was the right guy to take it over. And a lot of it was unspoken. He knew. I was like, Motown in Oakland You can play remixes, but we need to hear a good deal of originals because this is Oakland. And if you play too many remixes, somebody's going to come up and ask you, like, hey, can you play?
Right.
They're going to check you a little bit. And I love that. I appreciate that. One of the things when I took it over, I was like, I need black DJs and I need black folks supporting this night. And I like to think that I've accomplished what I needed. Like, we have everybody that shows up to our party. Raphael Sadiq has been there.
Yeah.
Lakeith Stansfield has been there.
Okay.
I mean, I could run off celebrities all day. But I love our crazy core folks. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're... We've had a lady who was 83 that would show up for like a month straight.
Wow.
83. I saw her one night and I was like, you know, I always look out for our elders and I'm like, I want to make sure that they're comfortable. I want to make sure if you need a drink, whatever you need, let me know. You know, and I got to talk to her one night and I was like, wow, like I really appreciate that you're here. We're talking on a Monday night, an 83-year-old lady rocking next to a 21-year-old.
Yeah. It's hard to get me out on a Monday night.
We're, you know, we've had people that they've gotten married and their after party was at Motown on Mondays.
Wow.
We've got people
That's a good spot to have it.
we've had people that have met at our party and gone on to have gotten married at our party. One of our regulars, Sexy Lexi, I'm going to put her on blast. One day she comes up to me and she has a tattoo on her, in between her, what do you call this thing?
I don't know.
The pointer
finger.
one and the thumb. And she has a tattoo that says, I love myself. And she tells me, one of the reasons I've gotten this tattoo is because of Motown on Mondays. And she shows up every Monday and dances in the corner, just dances by herself. And sometimes she dances with other folks, but she's there consistently every Monday night. And when she told me that, it kind of blew me away. And we hear stories like that, like on a consistent basis. I've had homeless people show up and they're like, oh my God, this is the best night I've ever had in my life. I'm sleeping in a car with my cat right now. I'm an actor. I'm a struggling actor.
But it's a break.
It's a break. And like your community and your, you know, the way you guys kind of accepted me at this, you know, I've never been here before. I heard about it and somebody mentioned it.
Yeah.
I've never been a part of something like that. I mean, it goes beyond just being like, oh, I'm head of that party or I'm DJing this party on Monday nights. Like it hits home for me. Like it's.
Yeah. Well, I know that night that I went down there, it was very obvious that crowd was a regular crowd.
Oh yeah, you have regulars.
Yeah. It was very obvious, and they were giving me an opportunity, so I felt really blessed.
No, you smashed it. Come on, dude. I love giving people, like, you know, I love having new DJs because your interpretation of Motown on Mondays is not going to be Mesa's interpretation of Motown on Mondays. And I like to hear all that the different vibes and whatnot. And the crowd does too. They learn to appreciate that. Like, you know, whether it be, we've had people from Brazil fall through.
Wow.
A couple of people from Brazil. I mean, we had Lord Finesse a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and somebody like a Mind Motion. Mind Motion doesn't have to come to our party on a Monday night, but he gets off on that. He geeks out because people are so expecting to hear the radio Mind Motion.
Right.
Yeah.
I was telling somebody not that long ago, there's different mind motions.
Yes. And if you grew up and you know his history,
right,
his musical knowledge.
I first came across Mind Motion. He was working in Zebra Records in Frisco.
I know. I've been.
And there was a set of turntables on the counter.
They used to have battles. Come on.
Yeah. I think I was like, man, I had to be 8 or 9, maybe 10.
That's the first time I ever saw somebody put a straight arm mod on a 1200.
I've seen a few battles at Zebra.
Yeah.
In the basement, remember? Yeah. Dang, that's crazy. crazy. That's my whole life. Like, I've
But yeah,
been
no,
around hip-hop
I
my
totally
whole
get what
life.
you're saying.
I used to
though.
be a b-boy.
It's a destination at this point. You know, it really is.
That's what we were talking earlier. My gender, I'm hip hop. My whole life. Yeah. That's what I know.
But it really has because it's become a cornerstone here in the Bay, or at least in Oakland. And I know there's also a San Francisco.
We're in 20 plus cities around the world.
20 plus. There's one in Hawaii I saw.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, we can't wait to be rocking back again.
Now-
We're doing it virtually on Twitch, obviously. So,
right.
but
I see the ads.
yeah, no, it's a movement. Like I said, shout outs to my man Don Gordo for
Right.
coming up with that idea. Honestly, and I say this, it's changed my life.
Yeah. Now you guys moved like less than a year ago,
Yeah, about a
and then now
little-
this pandemic's hit.
Yeah, about like a year and a half ago. Yeah.
Has it been that long now?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
been a minute.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm tripping. Yeah, we just moved this year. Yeah, I'm tripping. Yeah, we started the first Monday in January. We started at our new spot,
So
Hello
you only
Stranger.
went a couple months at the new spot.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
gotta suck.
yeah. No, I mean we were, we had some amazing parties. Come on, we had Miles Medina play. We
Yeah.
had.
Nice.
Oh my god, it was ridiculous. That was for the launch for Hello Stranger, and then it was our anniversary. It was kind of delayed, but yeah. No, I mean and then it stopped. It was like
Real dope.
But
dope.
we're ready to come back in once things are safe. Yeah.
Right.
Now, when this whole pandemic thing hit, I think we were all kind of in shock and awe. You know what I mean? So we'll talk about this. There's all this stuff in the news about D-Nice, and D-Nice did this whatever, how many hours set on Instagram. And so I'm like, I tried screwing around with that stuff in the past, but I started messing with it, and then I got the little iRig. And one person that I see every single day for hours, I'm not talking an hour, I'm talking 2, 3, 4, I don't know how many, you'd be on there all night. Malachi. Now I'd see Malachi every single day.
I was pretty consistent with it. Well, I knew I needed a DJ. That's just a part of my fabric and how
same kind of deal.
I don't care if it's one person or two people watching. I need the DJ. That's such of what I do, and that's my job. I did nothing up until that all that was taken away from me.
Right.
I was kind of caregiver for my mom. My mom passed early away this year, so I'm at this house alone. I was like, I still need the DJ because that's who I am. I'm a DJ. I'm not trying to shake it. You're gonna bury me with my 1200s.
Right.
Real talk. I mean, that's what I do. But a couple nights after D-Nice went on, I kind of watched him, and I kind of watched a few other people, and I'm like, all right, let me try this. Let me give it a shot. It's been fun. It's been a journey. Obviously, I got real tired of Instagram and Facebook, kind of deleting our streams midstream.
Or blocking parts of
Yeah. And then made the whole switch to Twitch. I'm like 4 months in now into Twitch.
Okay.
It's a new platform. It's tough because a lot of people who watch me on Instagram, Facebook, they don't want to join a new platform.
Yeah.
Especially
that's what
older
I was
folks.
Wondering.
It's tough. But at the end of the day, I'm developing a whole new fan base.
Okay, cool.
And I'm getting props from, DJs from around the country. They're kind of chiming in. They're like, oh, snap, you're killing it. Like, and like people who I watch, who I like admire now. I told you, and you can look at my phone. I showed you my phone. I have like over 300 Shazams of all this new music I'm hearing that I'm exposed to via Twitch.
Wow.
And all these amazing DJs. Louis Vega is on there.
Wow.
All these DJs that a lot of times when we're out and about when it's regular, when there's no COVID, we're DJing. A lot of times somebody will come to the Bay Area and I can't see them because I'm working or we're working.
Right.
So I can't go out and see those people. I can sit at my home and watch them now.
It's a different game right now.
And I appreciate it. It's, appreciating all this new music, this whole like sense of community. What's dope about Twitch is you could raid somebody. I could be doing my party. I could bring my party to Mike.
Right.
I could bring my party to Mace. We're gonna raid your stream, and then all my people are exposed to Mace. All my people are exposed to Mike.
Right.
And that whole kind of sense of community. And we as DJs, like, you know, Chewy says it all the time on his stream. He's on right now. We all we got. Hashtag we all we got. We need to support one another, and that's one of the dope things about Twitch. I mean, it's, you know, it's a lot of work. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, you know, I need to DJ.
Yeah, right.
Like I said, just for my own sanity, I'm at my house alone. I have never lived by myself. I'm at this house alone, and I need the company. I'm always saying on my streams, thank you guys for keeping me company. Like, chiming in, you know, saying whatever. Last night we were talking about strip clubs. We were talking about strippers. We were talking about Market Street Cinema. We were talking about porn stars. We were going in while I'm DJing, and the chat's just going. Like, it's, you know, it's unique. It's fun. Like, I mean, you never know what's gonna come up on.
Now,
like,
some people are making money on Twitch.
I mean, you know, I'm scraping by. I'm not, you know, but I would do it if I wasn't making money, honestly.
Nice.
I just, you know, I love DJing.
Right. Well, I know for me, I was doing the Facebook a little bit, but mostly the Instagram. One thing I did like is I'm playing to people that know me, maybe support me, but never really got to come out and see me.
No, exactly.
So it was definitely, but I could see going to Twitch now. It's like almost going and doing a gig. You're introducing yourself to a whole nother crowd.
No, exactly. That's it's like I said, don't mind. It's kind of tough. And initially you're gonna, you know, you might take an ego hit because you're like, man, I only have 5 people watching me. But then at the same time, that's 5 core people who like, oh, when you're on tomorrow night, them same 5 people are gonna show up. Man, I have people tuning in from Germany, Argentina.
Wow.
Like all these people, and I'm getting all these Facebook requests, friend requests. I'm getting all these Instagram friend requests. I'm like, oh snap! Like,
what?
Yeah, no, I'm like, what? Oh, you know me from where? Like, but then
that's definitely the plus to the internet.
Yeah, no, and you know, exactly.
I talk to people from all over the world.
Right.
I'm sure you guys get it with this.
I get it a little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've been getting more lately.
We're getting there. Yeah.
And I've become a, you know, I'm fighting a custody case, right? It's pretty nasty, and so I'm all paranoid these days. So I'm getting all these people like wanting to follow.
Who are you? Who are you?
Who are you? Who's this person? Oh yeah, you're from where?
No. You gotta cover your ass.
Right, yeah, but I won't be like that forever. One thing, speaking of Chewy, one thing he said when he was on here is, big shouts out to Chewy Gomez.
That's my guy.
And he said, you know, this whole thing has really leveled the playing field. Guys that were per se a name or somebody's, a lot of them have fallen down the rung.
Yeah.
Guys that were nobodies or weren't paid attention to, now they're starting.
Well,
he actually, honestly, he kind of used us as an example, which I don't know if that's good or bad.
I mean, and I know this has hurt a lot of people. I know a few big names that are like, they're hurting.
They're hurting.
No.
They're doing bad, you know. And I feel them because I'm kind of the same. I told you, you know what I mean? Like, I know I'm definitely not. I haven't been super creative. You know, especially when it first happened, I was just like, "What?" Like,
and
a lot of energy was lost.
I get that. Like, I mean, it's tough. Like, you know, because especially on Twitch, you have to be. Some people have help. You have to be a creator.
Yeah.
You have to DJ. You have to, you know.
It's a lot to it.
You have to talk to people in the chat. You have to be, you know, people want to be acknowledged.
Yeah.
You know, people need that ego stroke. Hell, I need that ego stroke.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, you have to figure out this whole new technology. And, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but it honestly, at the end of the day, it's worth it. I mean, it's fun. Like, and
that's
honestly,
all we got. Honestly, I mean, it's really nothing else to say. Really.
And honestly, we're not.
What else you got?
We're not going to be back in clubs.
Right?
We're not going to be back in clubs anytime soon.
No, it's not looking good at all.
Yeah.
It's not looking good at all. we were just talking about earlier. We're all basically our whole, however you want to look at it, our craft, our profession. For some of us, the whole situation with DJing is just, this is what we got. What you're doing is about the best you could be doing.
Yeah.
And all these companies right now are coming out with new controllers, CDJs, mixers, $2,000 mixers. I'm not sure I understand the logic completely. Are they fucking with us?
Well, I think a lot of that is just, you gotta remember everything from last year. So
Right.
like last year's technology. I think we'll see in the next year. If nothing opens up next year, you're gonna start to see some drop in technology, especially because there's gonna be no use to it. No one's gonna be buying that much of it.
You got to
Right.
remember too. Some people are still working. Some people are
That
like,
too,
oh,
yeah, yeah,
they,
I'm working.
you know, it was only
It's not
like
completely over.
Yeah.
it was like a bump in the road to them. They're like, hey, I'm working. I'm still
Some
making it.
people-
I work
You
with
know,
some guys
Or
that are
some
like that,
people
but
are doing
I
even
stayed home
better.
for a while.
Some
I
people are
stayed.
doing even better.
Right.
No, exactly. I heard
People
that.
are on, I don't want to say taking advantage, but just whatever trade they're in.
Yeah.
That trade is
Right, I'm
is at the
blessed
front
right
end
now.
of
I'm on a big job for
like
NVIDIA.
if you're in the medical field, you're definitely winning.
Right,
If your stock's in that, yeah, you're winning.
I'm blessed.
You know what I mean?
I'm getting my 40 every week right now, and I'm blessed.
No,
But that's what I get. There's no overtime. There's no.
No, I know
There's
people
no
that
DJ gigs.
I know
There's
people.
no.
I know people that are getting overtime.
Yeah,
I know people that are
That's
gigging, you know, virtually,
yeah.
through Zoom and
I've had
whatnot.
a handful of gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we all have. Yeah.
just a handful. Literally a handful.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I've had
different,
to
but at the
travel.
same time,
I've had to travel to get some.
Well, you
shit,
know
but-
what's crazy? I did a lot of gigs. My whole, I've been telling guys this. My whole scene right now is up and down this hall, with my studio
really
down
is,
there,
yeah.
Mace is here, True Justice and Equipto right there. You know what I'm saying? Some other cats we know right over here. And so when I told you my band's studio is right next to me, we're doing a ton of live streaming. And so I'm literally coming to the studio and making a quick little $100, a little 150, 75.
it adds up.
It adds up. You know what I mean? It adds up.
That could be your food or
Yeah.
whatever.
It was great. It was really good through this whole thing. It was something. you
Yeah.
know?
No, exactly. Something's better than nothing. I mean, you have to be appreciative of what
Oh,
because there are folks who aren't getting it. Getting things.
I'm gonna tell you just for me, and this is my interview to you. But
Yeah.
anyway, since we're on the subject, I've started just probably 2018 things I was going through. 2019, I was pretty much living on DJing for probably 2/3 of the year,
Yeah.
and I was just at a
Getting
point.
close to there.
I was just at a point where I was starting to go work when my main shop needed me. I worked this job, worked for a month, 2 months, couple weeks, whatever, and I was DJing and contemplating, should I just make Audio One? Alex Mendez told me you gotta
Shouts
make the
out
leap.
to Audio
Big
One.
shouts out to Audio One. And so I've had this in the
Yeah,
back of
let's
my
go.
head. When am I gonna make this leap? And I'm gonna tell you straight up, right now, I'm so glad I'm still a union carpenter because it's saving my ass.
Yeah. Hey.
I feel you.
It sucks. I'm up every day at 4:15, and but hey, we're still here.
Yeah.
Really, that's real. So maybe another couple years we'll come back around and try that all again.
Hopefully.
Where do you see it going next year? DJing
I-
and everything.
I don't know if we're gonna be back in clubs yet, and I do a lot of as well as clubs and radio, internet radio. I do corporate stuff. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking next year's a wash as well.
I'm
hate to
thinking
say
that
it,
as
but-
well. It feels like it.
Yeah.
I guess it depends.
It
how
already
winter
feels
goes,
like
I
it.
guess we'll see.
Well, everything's kind of
It's looking that way.
it's
right?
scaling back at this point, so I
Right.
can't see it
Oh, my
Here we go
God.
again.
getting any
I'm
better.
ready to catch a flight out of here. That's all.
No, go to Mexico for a little bit. Like, hey,
Maybe.
I'd like what you've been thinking about it. Seriously.
DJ down there, track, DJ on the beach.
I've been seeing folks going to Mexico and just kind of
Well, even not even that far. I got people, neighbors here. They've been to Atlanta.
Okay.
Atlanta's been open pretty much now. Look at the back here. You know?
Oh, really?
They went down to Atlanta not too long ago.
Oh, that's right.
Went out to play the weed.
10 Toes.
Big shout out to 10 Toes. Yeah, they went out there. You know what I mean? So there has been some spots, even in America, but outside the country, definitely there's been a lot.
Now I know a lot of cats are going to Vegas, right? Vegas is cheap as hell.
But
In fact, I've been hearing so many people
Yeah,
are
I
going
got
out there in
Vegas
the little hood
stories.
lately.
but I have people that are on the ground, and the clubs and nightclubs are still not really open.
No, they aren't. But
Feel
it's still kind of like, you talk about folks not necessarily social distancing. I was in Vegas in, God, what month was that? July, August. But I went with family.
Pass?
Yeah,
Okay.
we rented a spot out there, a house, and just kind of stood in the house. We went to the strip for like 4 hours, and there wasn't a whole lot of social distancing.
Wow.
Like I was like,
Oh, yeah, no,
it was
yeah. I mean,
it was a little.
There's still people with masks, but
It
most
was-
people weren't, right? Yeah.
Right.
It was a bit much, and it seems like, yeah, it isn't getting any better, truthfully.
Yeah.
So
I was there in February. I had a court date,
Me too.
and then
Nigga,
I just
No
I
lie.
just worked like 20-something days straight. Had
Floor, baby.
a beautiful check where they took more the taxes were like what my usual checks were. And I'd done a couple shows. I was doing a lot of shows out in Santa Cruz with Sinai and Lisborn and a bunch of stuff.
shouts
And-
out to the homies.
Yeah, and so I went for the court date, and the job I was on, the work had dried up. I stayed at the El Cortez down by Fremont Street.
Oh yeah. Oh, Old Vegas is
That's
popping.
my favorite part of Vegas. I don't even, because my kids and my daughter was out there till April, and my son's still out there. So especially just going out there to visit my kids, and then we got all these court dates now with that situation. I'm in Vegas all the time, and once I started staying down there in that old downtown, the Fremont Street, I forgot about the strip.
Old Vegas is cracking.
Cracking.
Yo,
It's great. It's phenomenal. Yeah.
No, it used to be like just gully and like.
Yeah, like when I was out there like 20-something years ago. Yeah, it was a little
even like 10 years ago. It was like, like where are you at?
No, but it is amazing. They got that I don't know.
Oh, the little-
thing up top, and people on the zip
Zip line,
lines,
yeah.
You walk over here, someone rapping, freestyling, talking about you as you walk up. You go over here, they got a stage with a rock band. You go
There's
over
a
there, they got
gang of cool
stage with
restaurants.
yeah, tons of restaurants. They got little souvenir
You're making it
spots that
sound
sell
nice.
weed.
You're selling it.
Yeah, they got little
You're
souvenir
selling it,
spots that'll
buddy.
sell like big fat
I've been
joints
looking
and
at
shit.
Vegas, too.
Oh, word?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing place. Big
Vegas
bar
don't
right there
sound
on the
too
street.
bad.
Yeah.
Selling
It's
it.
crazy.
Yeah. No, it's changed.
Yeah.
It's changed.
You know, you go down to the end, it's all country western,
Yeah.
and I'll hang out there for a while. You know, just
Sounds
peep the
different,
scene, and I'll
yeah.
hang out over here. Love it. Love
Yeah.
it, you know, my kids are like, Dad, what'd you do last night? And I just stayed in the hotel. And they know I'm dry like that, so they're like, yeah, you probably just stayed in the hotel.
I like. I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of flossy. I like the Aria. Which is just like-
that's a nice place. Very nice place.
You control everything in your room on your phone.
Oh wow! I'm
Like
about to stay
we
there.
open the door, the curtains start opening up.
Yeah.
I'm
All
like,
right.
yo,
That's what I'm
what's going
saying.
on? Like, oh my god, seriously, everything is controlled on your phone. I'm
Why
like,
have I never stayed there? It's
Yeah,
not
it's-
right on the strip. It's a little
it-
bit off.
it's on the strip.
Is it on the
Yeah,
strip?
it's on the strip.
Yeah,
At
I
kind of the
know.
beginning, kind of near toward the airport. Yeah, on
Oh,
the if you're going toward Fremont and all that, it's on the left hand side
okay.
at the beginning. Yeah, it's
Yeah, I know it.
It's kind of bougie, but it's so worth it.
That's what it's about going out there, really, you know.
You're gonna spend it.
My whole thing is this. This is why my kids think I'm so dry. Because I'm like, really, the only thing to do in Vegas is drink or shop. I'm usually after you guys give me too broke to shop. And I could don't, you know, I don't, and I tell them, I don't drink, you know. So They're like, yeah, you're hella dry, Dad. You know? But I didn't tell them I'm out here.
Hey, right, exactly. Yeah, keep thinking that way.
Right. So wow, it's crazy times, man. So yeah, the DJ game, I think it is kind of probably a little obliterated for at least the next year or two.
And I hope not, man. I'm hoping by the spring
I think it's gonna be.
get
You know,
some
I
good
get little
news.
calls for little small stuff, and
And then I don't know. I know I heard that now they got the vaccine or whatever. There's a lot of promise, but I don't know. I'm still too soon for me, and I'm still skeptical. Like, man, we don't
A lot
even
of people are
Way
skeptical. They're
skeptical.
talking about
You don't even know. In 5 years, you might grow 10 more extra toes.
yeah, you know, I don't
know.
know.
You know
I don't know.
Time only tells, right? Like,
I don't know if I don't know. Who am I to
I
say?
guess we'll see, man. Because to me, even more, if they open it more, it's more of a psychological thing for everybody's brains.
Right.
Most people are scared.
Well, I think at this point, probably a good portion of it is anyway.
But it's more of the brainwash, you know what I mean? So it's like.
Oh yeah, people like I went and got toilet
So
paper.
not even if they said, "Hey, tomorrow I'll go back to normal," there's gonna be a lot of people like, "Well, I don't know if I should."
Of course.
No,
Yeah,
the whole
it's gonna-
thing.
It's gonna take time.
I went to the store today and I needed toilet paper.
Yeah.
Luckily, I found a little bit, but I've heard Costco's out.
That's
I've
how
heard
I knew, 'cause
Walmart
I don't-
is
like,
out.
I don't watch TV at all, like the news.
Yeah, no,
the last
people.
couple of weeks, I noticed that store. I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
Yeah, here we go with the
Here we
hoarding the
go.
toilet paper.
Yeah.
Hoarding
Toilet
the,
paper's gone. One limit only.
I went in the Safeway today and I was like, ooh, yeah, it's
Here we go.
the shelves are damn near empty.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Terrible.
And there's a lot of stuff that was empty already anyway. My daughter and I, they got this new CVS out where we're at.
Except for Berkeley Bowl. Big shout out to Berkeley Bowl. Go to Berkeley Bowl. They're stocked.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we love
Not
Berkeley Bowl.
everybody likes organics.
Right.
Not everybody likes organics.
You
'cause
can't
that
go
place
wrong
is
with
stocked.
Berkeley Bowl.
But we
That
got
place
this.
is
There's a new CVS right there by the house, so my daughter and I'll go in there. And there's whole shelves where they put like just a covering in front of them.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
man, they got that little, like, big chunks of shelving where they don't got nothing. And I'm like, wow. So we're going through it.
Yeah.
They're still, we haven't come back from the last round, you know. And it's like,
Barely,
okay, now we're gonna have
barely,
another
yeah.
round.
I know they closed the gym. Closed my gym.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
It just opened up.
Something told me, and believe me, I need to be in the gym. But
I got the
something
email,
told me
like,
don't
oh.
start yet. Right on. Well,
I don't
Malachi, we ain't gonna keep you
Yeah.
much longer. We're just grateful to have you
Oh,
on
yeah.
here.
We only scratched the surface.
I know we did. We could probably
It's all
make
good.
we could make this a weekly show.
Well, come back for one of my other shows. I have a couple shows we do.
All right. Yeah.
There's a lot of round tables and podcasts going on here.
Oh yeah.
Man, come on. What else we got to do?
Nah, man, that's like for me. It's like 2020 is the most weirdest fucking year. It's
Weirdest.
Like
I think-
I lost so much, but yet I kind of gained a lot of good shit.
No, I think that's one of the reasons
Crazy.
why people watch me on Twitch. Like,
Yeah.
they're like, hey, tell us a story. And I got a million stories.
I
I mean,
I've
if
been-
it wasn't for COVID, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be in this building.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Both of
I
us.
wouldn't be in this building. I wouldn't be doing this podcast right now. No.
It's been a.
I'd still
It's
be DJing every
Yeah.
other weekend. You know what I mean? Like it'd be the normal, trying to get on the road, go DJ. Just stay
well. This
right
is
here.
what I think. I said this on one of the other podcasts. Is prior to COVID, I was working, and I was going so hard with the shows.
Yeah.
That I was literally going from like a show, driving to a job site, getting in my work clothes, sleeping for 2 hours, going to work, coming home, taking it, sleeping all night, for the time I got home, and then having a show the next night, doing the same thing over again. And I didn't realize how tired I was until I was forced to stop. Then we stopped. Didn't know what we were gonna do, but then we both landed up in here. Then my daughter came to live with me, so it's had its positives and its negatives.
Yeah.
Now I think about doing all those different shows, and I'm like, I'm telling cats, I'm not doing weekday shows anymore. I'm already putting that out there, so when they come back, But it's made me
Now, but when,
really think
when
about.
the money comes back,
Yeah.
you'll be like, oh shit.
All right,
What time?
let's
You
do
be like, what
it.
time?
Who is it?
What time I
Oh,
go
okay.
Exactly.
What time I go on? Can I go on first?
Yeah, right? Exactly. Fit me in the schedule.
Yeah, it's all right. All right, just this one.
I'll work it out.
Malachi,
Yeah,
where can they? How can they see you on Twitch?
Follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/DJ Malachi 510, because somebody named DJ Malachi took my name and they aren't doing shit with it, but whatever. And you can follow me on Instagram at DJ Malachi, Malachi. It's the biblical pronunciation, or think of Children of the Corn, the movie.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah,
DJ Mike and Friends every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Cut It Up Music on YouTube.
Yeah.
Mace the Tablist, DJ
was
Mike, Southside Hayward on mine.
Yay!
Thank you, Malachi.
Thank you, guys.